We also got another game that's going to be in Minnesota. So it's going to be the Timberwolves, who is the 7th seed, going up against the Clippers, who are the 8th seed as well, too. For the season series matchup, the Clippers won 3-1. Paul George only missed one game, which was obviously because of his shooting arm. That was January the 3rd. But other than that, I mean, looking at the numbers that you put down, Clippers won that first meeting, and it's kind of crazy that they played 3 games in November. Like, that's kind
Yeah,
of
that is
weird to
wild.
me. I think it was because they wanted to keep in regions closer because of COVID and whatnot. I'm assuming that's why. But it looks like Paul George averaged around like 24 points per game. The first meeting, the Clippers won by 11. Second meeting, they won by 20 points, and then the third meeting, they won by a little over 20. But at the same time, Minnesota really started hitting their stride in the second half of the season as well, too. I think they had one of the
Right.
best overall records as well. So we're going to definitely see a better matchup. They should be treating this like a game 7 as well, too. I'm going to give the nod to the Clippers. Now, part of it you can argue is me being biased. Now, Cats had some form of playoff experience before. Everyone, I mean, the big three has had big experience. Well, not Anthony Edwards, but Cat's been to playoffs before a couple years ago. D'Lo's been to playoffs as well too with Brooklyn when he kind of revitalized them and made them a marquee free agent destination as well too. And then obviously you got Bev. So if there's anyone who knows the tendencies of all the Clippers players, the coaching style of Ty Lue, it would be Pat Bev. But at the end of the day, you just got to go out there and play. And it's not like you have that old film to kind of revert to since it's been so long. I mean, you can take away a little bit from it, but like I said, these teams are completely different. In all these matches that I mentioned as well, too, there was no Robert Covington. There was no emergence of Hardenstein. There was no Norman Powell. And like I said, and PG missed a lot of games as well, too. So I think we're going to see a coaching clinic by Ty Lue. Obviously, it's on the road. It's going to be a little bit more hostile. So I could see the Clippers kind of start off a little rattle. But if there's any team to be down and come back, it's the Clippers as well, too. But I'm sure Minnesota, that home crowd, are going to be energized going into this matchup tonight as well, too. So we're going to see what happens. But I mean, Cat's going to be Cat, right? I expect him to give you 25 and 10 as well, too. But I think the Clippers have more than enough bodies to at least bother D'Angelo Russell, to at least bother Anthony Edwards. I mean, you got PG, Rocco, you got Norman Powell, you got Batum, you got Marcus Morris Sr. You got a lot of bodies to bother them as well, too, and wearing them down throughout the course of 48 minutes. So I think Paul George picks right back up where he left off at in the playoffs last year. And they found a way to kind of, hash it out. And I had them winning by about like 5 to 7 points. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with the Clippers. I do think Reggie Jackson is gonna be a big factor in this. One thing about Reggie, he likes to play, he likes matchups. Like he likes going into a matchup like, all right, that's the guy I'm a dog the entire night. Like, all right, I got Russ, I bet what's his name? Pat Bev, bet. You know what I'm saying? I think they're gonna come out, like you said, for some reason in big games, the Clippers do come out a little shaky. So I can see maybe Paul George, who usually doesn't come out shaky for some reason. He usually is the guy that's like steadying the boat a little bit, like keeping them afloat. And then I think they ride him all the way until Reggie Jackson,
Mr.
Mr. June,
June.
shows up in the fourth quarter or third quarter when Pat Bev starts talking shit. You know what I'm saying? The Timberwolves go up and Pat Bev starts running his mouth. That's the worst thing you could do against the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? So I think Mr. June shows up in the fourth quarter. Like you said, I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to look at Zubac and be like, all right, this is not really necessarily an elite defender, an elite center in this league. I think he does eat in that game. I think D'Lo might have a little shaky of a game. I think Anthony Edwards is going to have to go nuclear if they want to win this game. But I'm going to have to give it to the Clippers. They have all the experience. They have the coaching. I don't think anyone's even going to know what Norman Powell's about to do. Maybe they don't come out shaky. So I think he's a real X factor when it comes to the Clippers playoff run this season. Now, I don't want him to be taking a final shot. If that happens, I'm going to have to go to I have to go
No,
to Timberwolves because of all that bullshit he used to do as a Raptor. But for this game, I got the Clippers winning.
Man, yeah, that was crazy. I still remember when Kawhi was there, and then that opening night when they played against the Pelicans. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Um, that was mind-boggling as well too. But no, Norman Powell has gotten much better each year. And what I like about this matchup is with PG being out for majority of the season, this really caused these other players to kind of step up. Obviously, with Reggie Jackson, he became the number one option as well too. Now all the focus is going to be on PG. So now these other players, including a Reggie Jackson, can play more freely. And I'm looking forward to that matchup as well too. We got, Bev, like you said, always talking that shit, ice in the veins with D'Angelo Russell. This is probably going to be Anthony Edwards' biggest game on display. Some people call him the next D Wade. And then we got the self-proclaimed biggest, best big three man that can shoot the rock as well too. So it's going to be really good. Anything can go down. So like I said, definitely down the wire. I got Clippers winning anywhere between 5 to 7 points for sure.